Lively. Blake Lively. Okay, and Justin Baldoni. Okay, so they were in this movie. It Ends With Us.
Right.
And it's really interesting, this story. Now, I know you went over this before, but I have a complete timeline that we can go through. So I will do that. And there's also a website that he put up where he released a bunch of facts on, text messages, copies of the text messages between them, his version of the story. And there's some interesting little tidbits that Blake tried to pull as well. But anyway, December 20th, Blake Lively files a complaint with the California Civil Rights Department alleging that Justin Baldoni creates a hostile work environment during the production of It Ends With Us. She accuses him of inappropriate behavior, including unsolicited physical advances and discussing explicit topics. Then, the very next day, on the 21st of December, the New York Times publishes an article alleging that Baldoni and producer Jamie Heath hired a crisis management experts to discredit Lively after she raised concerns about the harassment. Then, on that same day, talent agency WME drops Baldoni as a client following the allegations. So make no mistake, people, when you're going to accuse somebody of something, there's going to be ramifications. Right?
Right.
And you can easily go ahead and destroy somebody's life, especially when it's of a sexual nature. You can ruin their life, ruin their family, ruin their job, blah, blah. I don't have to say any more about that. Okay. So that is December. So then on December 22nd, Colleen Hoover, author of the novel It Ends With Us, she's the original writer of the novel, releases a statement supporting Lively. Then on the 23rd, the next day, the SAG-AFTRA issues a statement standing by Lively as well, emphasizing that retaliation against individuals who report harassment is illegal and wrong. So she's burying this guy already in a matter of 24 hours. Okay? Then on the 20th, this is the... What's that?
Who made that claim?
Lively did.
Oh, no, I thought you said somebody else. Okay, go ahead.
Well, Lively makes her statements. It's like the actors union, SAG-AFTRA.
Oh, okay.
I think it's the actors union. Okay. They stand by her and not him. So, then the next day comes and it's the 24th. And Baldoni's former publicist, Stephanie Jones, files a defamation lawsuit against him and his PR team, alleging that they attempted to cover up his on-set behavior and undermine her reputation. Okay. Then on the 31st of December, Baldoni now files a $250 million libel lawsuit against the New York Times, accusing the publication of pushing an unverified and self-serving narrative and ignoring evidence that disputes Lively's claims. So see, in a matter of 5 days, the damage is, if you're going to, it better be true. It better be true if you're going to say things like this, right?
Well, I mean, apparently it's Blake, it's SAGs, it's publicists. There's a lot of people coming out of the woodwork.
Yeah. Uh-huh. And you know what? A lot of them feel pressure to do that because they're like, uh-oh, I got to take a side. I got to take a side right now because we could look bad if we don't pick the right side. And they pick her, which is interesting. Okay?
Okay.
Because things really do shift. Okay? So he files a $250 million libel lawsuit against the New York Times. Okay? Because they published on the 21st that article alleging that Baldoni and Jamie Heath hired crisis management experts to discredit her. So he's now suing them. Okay.
Right. Nothing towards her.
Right.
Just towards, New York. Right.
Towards him. Right. So then she files a federal lawsuit on the 31st. This is all the same day. Against Baldoni now and his production company Wayfarer Studios and 2 public relations representatives of his alleging sexual harassment and a coordinated effort to undermine her reputation. Okay, then it's quiet.
Right.
It's quiet for the beginning of January. Then January 16th, Baldoni turns around and files a $400 million lawsuit against Lively and her husband Ryan Reynolds and their publicist Leslie Sloan, alleging civil extortion, defamation, and invasion of privacy. He claims that Lively attempted to take control of the movie through demands and threats and later accused him of a smear campaign to deflect attention from her own actions. Okay, that was on the 16th. Then, on the 23rd, Lively's legal team requests a gag order now against Baldoni's attorney, Brian Friedman, accusing him of engaging in a smear campaign by leaking information to the press, and the judge denies the gag order request. So what's happening here is right around this January time, he's saying, you know what? I am not putting up with this crap. I'm going to start releasing some information, and now I'm going to sue too. And now she's backpedaling. She's completely backpedaling at this point. I don't know.
She's not backpedaling yet. You didn't say anything about her backpedaling.
Well, I'm telling you she's backpedaling because I'm telling the story in order. But what you're going to hear is going to make you understand why on that day she is backpedaling. So Anyway, on February 10th, Baldoni discusses his emotional exhaustion during the filming of It Ends With Us in a podcast episode that was recorded back in November 2024. He reflects on the intense year and its impact on the mental health of him and his family. Then on February 11th, reports emerged that Blake skipped the Super Bowl. Okay, so now we're up to now, amid tensions with Taylor Swift. Okay, so these are like the major things that have happened. And then the trial is scheduled for March of 2026.
Okay.
That's a year.
Of 2026? Okay. Wow.
Of 2026. Now, he created a website, okay, that was going to pretty much out her of everything. He put everything up on this website. Now, I've read pretty much the whole thing, and it's very difficult to read. I could maybe read some of it in Zoom, but I skipped right down to when Lively was hired. Okay, so she agrees to take the lead role of Lily Bloom in this movie, and they develop marketing ideas for the film, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, and then let me skip down here. Hold on. Who's that? That's from, they're not saying who that one's from. Hold on. Lively introduces Baldoni to her friend and celebrity trainer who would later become Baldoni's trainer as well. Then on January 23rd, 2023, Baldoni and the trainer start collaborating, with the trainer delivering Baldoni's workout program on February 26th. Okay? And then here's some text messages. Hey, Justin here, a new friend of Blake's. We are working together on a film. I'll be headed your way first week of March for 4 months. Great to meet you, Justin. Happy to discuss. Let's jump on a call at some point. So now, remember, this was Lively's connection. She's the one who had the connection to this trainer. So she hooks up Justin to use this trainer to get him into shape for the movie. Remember, she also just had a baby at this time. Okay?
Right.
Lively and Baldoni start exchanging texts. She jokes with Baldoni that she is 20 pounds from her goal weight. Baldoni responds by disliking the message. Lively thanks Baldoni for his friendship and support. And, you know, if you have trouble reading this, your friendship support...
Yeah, you can't read it.
Okay, I'll read it to you. So Blake says, your friendship support helped me with that also. So thank you. Not holding to anything professionally, just thank you for the friendship side in the meantime. For real, I was worried about you. That's so much to hold. I'm really happy for you. I bet you feel 1,000 pounds lighter. And then she writes, only 20 to go. Okay, so then February 14th, he begins writing and sending script revisions to Lively, all the while also building a rapport with his co-star and lead actress, indicating he not worry about his choice of words and could speak freely. And it shows a little bit of that there, some camaraderie between them. Been deep into writing, really fun with you in mind. Fun, not right word, exciting. And she said, you're safe here. You know, like it's okay to talk like that with me. And then February 17th, Lively shares her concerns with Baldoni about having her body ready for the forthcoming sex scenes their characters would be shooting. What's the chance we can do body scenes at the end of the schedule? Baldoni tries to reassure Lively that she doesn't need to stress about her body and emphasizes his determination to work collaboratively with her to ensure her comfort. So he's working with her. He's like very respectful towards her. Now, what I will do is, let me blow this up a little. Hold on. I can zoom this in a little bit more. That might be helpful. Okay. So underlined here, I'll read the underlined parts. Blake says, as woke as we both are and work to be, this movie requires a certain aesthetic. It's part of the job that we both excitedly signed up for. I don't shy away from it because it's not problematic. It's the assignment. Like when someone is about to start an athletic event, It's their job to be in top shape. My husband and I both look at certain roles as athletic events, and this is one of them. It's not always a part of the job, but on this one it is, and that's great. As much as I'd love to not think about it, that would be irresponsible and also impossible because it's unrealistic to not acknowledge what I need to do. So she's saying I've got to lose weight, okay? So that she can look good for these scenes. And very, very appreciated, not just in my experience now, but also healing from experiences past. So thank you. So she's thanking him because she feels appreciated by him and she's had bad experiences in the past and he's not giving her that experience. So there's that. She also says, what's the chance we can do body scenes at the end of the schedule? So she's obviously very comfortable talking to him off camera, not on set, talking about these kind of things. So she's introducing a rapport with him that it's okay and free to talk about these intimate things with him because it's part of the job. So,
well, it's not really intimate things. It's about an intimate intimate shot. It's part of the movie.
Yes, Lynn, but as an actor, it is an intimate thing for an actor to go in and do that. It also can be very awkward. So I'm saying, like,
true, but some people. I'm just saying their subject matter is about the movie, not about their own personal.
Right, but if you break down
their own personal.
Okay. All right. So then he says, we will talk through and get creative together and make you comfortable. I just don't want you to stress about your body. It's the last thing you need. As soon as I have a rough schedule that's even remotely accurate, I'll share and I'll make sure that the team keeps this in mind. So there's that. Okay. Right. So this is just her. No, that's a trainer giving him tips and all that. Amazing. Can't wait to check it out. Baldoni and Reynolds exchange text messages expressing mutual respect for each other, I guess. So that's what's here. I know he talks a lot about how wonderful his wife is and he puts her on a pedestal and he talks about how she likes to be respected, not just as an actor, but as somebody that has a lot to offer towards the script and the writing portion of something, which can be a little tricky because when you're hired as an actor, that's what you're hired for. You're not hired for anything else. If they asked her, hey, we're hired.
She's an actress? She's an actress too?
No, I'm talking about Blake. I'm talking about Blake Lively.
I thought you were just saying about his wife.
No, Ryan's wife. He's text messaging with Ryan here. So Ryan Reynolds is Blake's.
I can't read this.
Okay. I just said that these text messages are between Ryan and Justin. So Ryan and him are talking and Ryan is expressing how, like, putting his wife on a pedestal, Blake, and talking about how she's not just an actress. She likes to be taken seriously in other matters, including like writing credits and having a say in how scenes are done. But what I'm trying to say to you is, and it's going to come out in after this, is that sometimes they don't want you for anything like that. They just want you as the actress, and that is it. And they don't want your 2 cents because they already have a writer on it, Right. So, but he's already in these text messages here. I'm just paraphrasing for you. He starts talking to Justin, hinting as if he wants his wife to have more of a say than just being the actress that learns the lines. Okay.
Not for nothing. Like, why not just get on the phone? Look how long these text messages are.
I know. Well, because people text nowadays. People just, all they want to do is text nowadays. So Lively shares with Baldoni that she has strep throat. Baldoni offers to send her some amazing gut health protocols that help after antibiotics. She responds, please. And as a result, he reaches out to his board-certified holistic health coach and connects them. And Lively shares that they connected, saying that she's incredible, basically thanking him, and you can see how this relationship is going. It's very, very, it's platonic and
respectful.
And very respectful. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So over here on the right, could you recommend? Oh no, that's basically showing that. Okay. So then Blake shows up for in-person chemistry reads with potential co-stars to play her love interest, Atlas. At the end of the day, Lively sends a message to Baldoni stating, that was fun yesterday. What a great assembly of people. Okay. Then on April 5th, he hires an intimacy coordinator and texts Lively to coordinate a time for them to meet. Lively declines to meet with the intimacy coordinator ahead of filming. So Justin writes that he hired the coordinator. And she goes, I feel good. I can meet with her when we start. Thank you, though. So she's kind of saying no right now. Not like thank you, but no thank you. Right?
Right. Right.
Okay, so then Baldoni shares the updated script with Lively. She excitedly texts Baldoni her thoughts on the pivotal rooftop meet cute scene, acknowledging its significance in the story. She asks if she can take a pass at the dialogue, hoping to infuse more of her voice into the character and make it more flirty and yummy. Baldoni welcomes her input, eager to see her take on the moment and make the character hers. He waits for her notes, but it gets good. Okay, so I think that's pretty much what this is, because it usually follows, their narrative is there and then the text follow.
Okay.
Hold on. Yes, and it's important to the film. The photos. Sorry. Okay, I just want to make sure I don't miss anything here. Okay, so April 9th, she shares her notes on the rooftop scene with Baldoni and follows up with a text eagerly awaiting his thoughts. Baldoni responds via voice note, expressing his appreciation for her passion and edits. While he likes her changes, he envisions the final version landing somewhere between her take and the original. So this is kind of where it starts. This is her first feeling of, wait a minute, you're not letting me change it. You know what I mean? He's not, and he's obviously being polite. And trying to be like, okay, well, maybe we could do it somewhere between what you think and the original, right?
Right.
Okay, so what'd you think of the pages she wrote and all that? So, and then April 12th, Baldoni meets with Lively at her apartment in New York. He is greeted by Lively's husband, Ryan Reynolds, who enthusiastically praises Lively's rewrites of the rooftop scene, which she had sent on April 8th. Hours later, as the meeting is ending, a mega celebrity friend, who we now know to be Taylor Swift, walks into the room and also begins praising Lively's script. Then on the 13th, Lively shares that she is ill again for the third time in 1 month. Baldoni asks if she would like to speak to his health coach, whom he previously connected her to in March. He also offers to take it one step further by connecting her with a medical intuitive, and Lively later claimed that the health coach was not what Mr. Baldoni had represented her to be, and alleged she was a weight loss specialist. She further claimed in her CRD complaint that this was yet another attempt by Mr. Baldoni to shame her for her body weight. Okay, so that's like the first connection you're making from her complaint that comes later, and then his original timeline. So I don't think she said that at the time. She's saying it now. Now that she's scrambling and she is now going after him, she's now trying to say that that health coach was really a weight loss specialist, okay? Okay, and then I think that's what this all, there's a bunch of text messages here, and they're very hard to read, I know.
Yeah, you can't read that.
I know.
Well, at least I can.
Well, I can read it. I'm just looking for, because there's a couple things that were really good. Sorry for the delay. I've been in bed. The good news is this is her being sick. I'm going to figure this out before we shoot. I literally looked into getting my tonsils out and everything. And he's saying, he's like hearting her messages and saying, oh, I have no doubt. I'm just sorry you're not feeling good. Waiting to hear back from my friend, but let me know if I can help with anything. I think she was just waiting on these forms. I filled them out. We're in touch. Thank you again. Blah, blah, blah. Never says anything about, hey, she's a weight loss coach in these text messages. Nothing.
Well, I don't think she would. I don't think you would do that now at this point. All right, go ahead.
So Baldoni asked Lively to send him the FDX file of the rooftop scene that she worked on, and Lively emails him the file. There's the attachment. He's got screenshots of everything, so the proof is here.
Right.
Baldoni and Lively text about script changes and enhancing dialogue for the role of Lily Bloom's mother, Jenny Bloom. Baldoni conveys that he is happy for Lively to share her notes, but ultimately wants to run any changes now by the scriptwriter. Okay, out of respect, which understandable. It's not her show, not her movie. Right. Lively agrees. In the wake of the meeting 2 days earlier, in the presence of Reynolds and their mega celebrity friend, Taylor Swift, who Lively describes as her dragons in a lengthy text to follow. Did you know about that?
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, she thinks she's comparing herself to, what's her name? Khaleesi from Game of Thrones, and that she's got 2 dragons, and those are obviously Ryan and Taylor. Okay. So Baldoni feels obliged to text Lively back saying that he liked her pages, but I don't like the way that's written, but didn't need Reynolds and her mega celebrity friend to pressure him. Baldoni acknowledges Lively's text about her dragons and apologizes for not responding right away. However, he promises to send her a more thoughtful voice note later that evening when he gets home from his plans. And then all that, what I just said, is in these text messages. It's very, very, very long. So on the 14th, Baldoni follows up with a voice note, as promised, responding to her text about her dragons and expresses sincere apologies for not being more sensitive to her feelings when responding to her notes on the rooftop scene. He acknowledged how lucky she is to have her husband and friends as her supporters. He also emphasizes with Lively's frustrations in having faced situations in her career where she was overlooked or not made to feel like an equal collaborator, and hoped that their collaboration on this film would set a new standard for how she would be treated. Ultimately, Baldoni tried to convey that her thoughts are always welcome and that he is excited to be working with someone of Lively's caliber and all of the value she brings to this film. He spends a considerable amount of time encouraging her and ensuring her that she is valued. And it's all in those texts, folks. You can go and read it. It's called the lawsuitinfo.com. Okay? And everything is on there. You can read them yourself. On the 15th, the next morning, Baldoni, ready to continue work, follows up his voice note with a text message to share additional thought on the script. Lively responded, thanking him for the thoughtful messages and promising to always do things in service of their shared goals. Uh-oh, I lost my spot. Okay. Okay, I went too far. Hold on. Missed my spot. Okay.
Yeah, I was
okay,
say,
Brandon Sklenar. Yeah, so on the 20th, Brandon Sklenar makes a casting announcement. Brandon Sklenar joins Blake Lively in Sony's It Ends With Us adaptation. Okay, and then also concerns about Lively's undue influence over the film begins to grow even before film starts. So these I liked. The producer texts him, he cannot let her have opinions on everything. And then Jamie Heath goes, Blake? And the producer goes, or she's going to be co-directing this film. And then Jamie Heath said, yeah, we were talking about that a lot yesterday. And the producer goes, exactly, in all caps. This is why everyone is starting to lose it. We've been talking about the same thing for months. And then Jamie says, yep, it's starting to get resolved. And then the producer goes, no, it's not. So they're all getting worried that Lively is trying to assume a larger role than just being the actress in this film. And it's becoming an issue. And she's feeling that too. So Baldoni meets with the intimacy coordinator to discuss how to shoot the sex scenes. And it was important to him that the intimacy coordinator be a woman to help craft sex scenes that would speak to the book's mostly female audience. So that's good, right? It wasn't like he's being sensitive.
There really wasn't any sex scenes, though. It's funny. Did you see the movie?
No, I have not seen the movie. It doesn't look good to me. I didn't think it looked good based on the trailer. Did you see it?
Yeah, I saw it. I read the book and saw it.
Did you see it?
Yeah, I saw it. It was, I didn't feel the connection between them two. I didn't feel like they were not a good pairing. Like I didn't feel any connection between them.
Okay. How about the other actor that played Atlas?
Yeah, no, I didn't feel it either.
Oh, okay.
I don't think that they paired her correctly with anybody. Yeah.
Okay, so
I didn't feel it. Yeah.
Here's when I think things get really ugly. Okay. And I think there's a missing piece that we don't know about here. But I think when things get ugly is right here on April 22nd. In preparation for a lift sequence in which Baldoni's character Ryle would lift Lively's character Lily, Baldoni reaches out to his personal trainer, who's a close friend of Lively's, to ask what Lively weighed so that he could train his back muscles specifically for that scene. You know what I mean? Like this was, to avoid the injury, he says, not only to Baldoni, who has suffered from lifelong back injuries, he's got bulging discs and chronic pain, but also to Lively. If the lift could not be completed successfully and safely, Lively would later claim in her complaint that this scene did not exist. However, as evidenced by the script pages and also a video in which Baldoni is rehearsing the scene with a body double, the scene was very real. So she's lying about that.
About what? Wait, what part did she lie about?
Okay, so script pages of the lift scene are included, okay, and they're right there underneath. He shows them that they're part of the script. Lively later claims in her complaint later on that this scene to be lifted did not even exist. However, it is evidenced by the script pages and the video that Baldoni was rehearsing this scene live on camera with a body double.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So the scene was real and she's lying about it. Okay. About it not being something that was even real and that she was just calling to ask how much she weighed. So that there's no context to why he would ask.
Right.
She didn't want by him having the context,
I didn't hear that. I didn't hear that part that she had complained about that.
Right. Okay, so Baldoni is then on the 25th, so this is just 3 days later, summoned to Lively's penthouse and greeted by Ryan Reynolds at the door, who swore at Baldoni and accused him of fat-shaming his wife. Okay? He said, "How dare you effing ask my wife about my wife's weight? What's wrong with you?" And the tone from Reynolds and Lively was so aggressive that Baldoni felt he had no choice but to offer repeated and completely unwarranted apologies for what was a good faith, reasonable question to his trainer, not to Lively. And Reynolds demanded that Baldoni remove the lift scene entirely. So
I'm trying to think what lift scene.
That's what I'm saying. It wasn't ever in the movie, honey, but it was originally in the script is what he's saying, and he rehearsed it with a body double. It didn't end up in the film is my point. So you didn't see it.
I was gonna say, I don't remember lift scene. Okay.
No, there's not a lift scene because it never happened. And it probably didn't happen because she was so probably, felt like, I think she had, I think she was insecure about her weight, but he didn't do anything that was...
listen,
out of the question. He's got a lifter, right?
But you could look. He could look at her and be like, "Well, she's got to be about a $125 or a $130," or tell the trainer about on average. What do you think? Or whatever. Then you just lift 10 pounds more than what you think it's going to be. Like, but I wouldn't ask the trainer that knows her personally. What's her actual weight so I can lift weights on that. I just think that was crossing the line.
I disagree. I disagree.
I think it's innocent to ask in a sense, but like you got to think before you ask. There's no reason why you need to know her weight. You can average it out on your own. You can say, you know what I mean? Like there's no way. Well, let's say, "Babe, how much do you weigh?" "What do you mean how much you weigh?" "Just tell me how much you weigh." "I weigh 120 pounds. Okay, so she's probably maybe 20 pounds more. All right, I'm going to lift 150 just to be on the safe side. If I go a little heavier, then she's going to be a lot lighter." You know what I mean? Like there's no reason why he has to have her
He wasn't asking her. He was asking her trainer, "Hey, by the way, how much do you think she weighs?" And you do have to...
No, what I'm saying is you're right. He does have to train. I understand that, but he could have guessed her weight. He didn't have to ask the trainer. And not for nothing, like that goes against HIPAA rules. Regardless, he really should. That trainer should not answer that question because that'd be against HIPAA rules. You're not allowed to do that.
I disagree
and he
wholeheartedly. He's a small guy with back issues. He's preparing to lift a woman in a scene that is in a script at that time. There's nothing wrong with saying about how much do I need to, train for. And yes, you bench press. You try to bench press that amount. You know what I mean? You practice lifting that amount.
Yeah, you can guess her weight. You can guess her weight and
There's no guessing when you're worried. More. Okay, we're going to move on. There's no guessing. I wouldn't risk my back just guessing. I would ask somebody, and I don't think it's offensive in any way. I don't. She just had a baby, too. So
it's offensive. It's offensive.
It would be offensive if he went to her and said something to her about her weight in a negative way, but he didn't.
The fact is the trainer should have never told Lively, but he did. He did tell her, and it is what it is. And he shouldn't have asked him.
Yeah,
he can't answer that question anyway.
I don't know if answering somebody's weight is a HIPAA violation. I really don't.
Let me tell you, if you said to me, let's use Bonnie for instance, and you said, how is Bonnie's teeth? Does she brush all the time? I can't tell you that. We know she brushes all the time, but I'm not going to tell you that.
It's like your your height, your weight, the color of your eyes. Those are not HIPAA violations.
No.
This is not your health.
Colored eyes, you can look at the color eyes. You can look at her weight and say she must be roughly 120 to 130.
Okay, well, we'll agree to disagree because I don't think it's a HIPAA violation. And you can go ahead and look it up if you want to and prove me wrong, but I don't think so.
It's a HIPAA violation if he answers, is what I'm saying.
Either way, I don't think so. Because then how many people would be walking around with HIPAA violations against them? People ask all the time, how much you weigh? How much is that person? How much you think that person weighs?
I'm talking about that the trainer is a professional and Lively is his client. He cannot expose anything personal about her that has to deal with what they do in training. Of course he knows her weight. Why do you think Baldoni went to him? Because he wanted to know the weight.
Right, but the thing is
through the back door.
They are both clients of that trainer, and that trainer has an interest in both of them, and they're all shooting to do the same thing. They're trying to get to one goal as to doing this scene where he needs to lift her. It's not like some Joe Schmo off the street walked up to her trainer and said, "Hey, how much does Blake Lively weigh?" Nobody.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Nobody's Joe Schmo.
But they're both.
It doesn't matter.
Okay, we're going to agree to disagree, and that is it. Everybody can agree with you if they want to, or they can side with me. It doesn't matter. But I can see we're not going to go anywhere with this. But I don't know. I don't think it's a HIPAA violation, and you do, and that's fine if that's what you want to think. But I'm not gonna I'm not budging on that. I mean, they're both contracted to do this scene together. They have to accomplish this one goal of him lifting her. And if he needs to know how much she weighs for his own back pain and his own health, then so be it. It's all part of the movie, It's part of the job.
Then either A, goes straight to Lively herself. But what I'm saying is a HIPAA violation is that the trainer himself cannot say anything of personal information. He can't even say where she lives. Nothing personal. Personal trainers are not bound by HIPAA. Oh, maybe, I don't know. But in general, if you were their client, I mean, even when it comes to any profession, HIPAA is more like health. But I'm sure they have their own little abbreviations of what they go by. But there's no way that businesses are not allowed to give out personal information at all. And if he was so concerned about lifting, he should have went straight to her. But he knows it's wrong to ask her about her weight. And so he went the back way about finding out.
He was trying to be sensitive to her feelings because he wasn't trying to insult her. He was trying to figure out what he needed to do to be stronger so he could lift her.
And you could figure it out by guessing her weight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He doesn't have to be to the pound. You can guess somebody's weight within a reasonable 10, 15 pounds, and then you just bench a little bit more. So you cover that ratio. All right, let's go on.
Okay, we're going to move on. Okay, April 25th. The line producer on the film shares concerns about the ballooning wardrobe budget resulting from Lively's takeover, stating that it was way more than she had ever seen wardrobe go over budget with the initial spending. So I did hear this. I heard she just was never satisfied, and she was always looking for this or looking for that, and it just was never happy. Nothing was ever getting solved. So yeah, that's too bad. Okay, so then on the 27th, he feels homesick. His family is back in California. It has been weeks since he has seen his kids. Lively offers to have Baldoni fly with her to Los Angeles and back for the weekend so that the two of them can continue working on the script. 6 hours there and 6 hours back. Now, remember, Ryan Reynolds had already reamed him out. And she already said that it was a real issue about these two with the weight. Why is she flying with him if it was really bothering her at that moment? You know what I'm saying? She agreed to fly with him. That just shows that can't be the real reason why this is happening here. Why they're having this falling out. It just couldn't be.
I think that she expressed her feelings and how she felt. He said he's sorry, and now they're moving on as adults. She can't hold that in. They have a project to work together.
But Lively feels at ease with Baldoni, is not only willing, but invites Baldoni to share an airplane cabin with her and her children. And the text messages show that. So he flies to Los Angeles from New York with Lively and her family, and for the duration of the flight, Baldoni and Lively work on the script. Okay. She begins altering the script on a daily basis. The frequency of the revisions and input alarms the producers, who anticipate that her interference would persist every day of the shoot and disrupt the carefully planned production schedule. So this is going on now too, aside of that. I'm sure she has a bad taste in her mouth because she is not being received well for what she's doing. So I'm sure you can go back and pick every bad thing you want that this guy did and said and start creating your case. Creating and fabricating your case because you're annoyed that you're not being put up on a pedestal and catered to the way she wants to be catered to. And that's the way I see Blake. I don't know if you're seeing that yet. Then on May 2nd, the Writers Guild of America went on strike. Okay. Lively and Baldoni text almost daily and were comfortable making silly jokes with each other. Just to give you an example, she says, I feel the same. It's such a good feeling to get work done that we're proud of and to do it together. It just clicks when we find it. And that's just as rewarding as filming it or editing it or marketing it or releasing it. This is all storytelling. This is why we do it. Thank you for your collaboration. I'm really proud of what we're doing. He loved that. And then he writes, and probably the only thing that could be like borderline flirty. Okay. He writes, I like sentimental Blake. And she goes, never met her. He writes, I also like a-hole Blake. Don't worry. And then he goes, okay, good night. And then Blake writes, I've met her. So have my suppositories. Good night. And then he laughed at her. Okay. Wayfarer holds a Respect in the Workplace meeting via Zoom with the production team to review appropriate on-set behavior and other HR-related matters before principal photography begins. This is a standard, so this wasn't because of anything he did or she did, okay? It's just part of it. Kind of like when you go to work and you have to watch those dumb DEI videos.
Yeah.
Don't get me started on
When you first start out in the company, Yeah.
Okay, then there's the prep schedule for It Ends With Us. Baldoni emails the intimacy coordinator his notes on sex scenes after discussing Lively's comfort level with her, and Justin emphasizes that the way these are shot and what is shown will be a collaboration between Baldoni and Blake. Due to illness in Lively's family, the Vegas shoot scheduled for May 8th is canceled, additionally because of the production delays and strikes. None of the outlined sex scenes were filmed during the May through June production window, which was phase 1, and these scenes were all postponed to phase 2. I personally believe she was struggling to lose the weight. Again, I don't know that for a fact, but I personally think she was struggling to lose the weight and was putting off having to do the sex scenes for that reason alone. Right. You might have a different opinion, but so anyway, it does resume later. So, okay.
Well, so I would have to find out what family member died when. What month was it?
I mean, you want me to go back for that? I mean, I don't know.
Go back up.
It doesn't say that. It's not going to say the family members.
No, I know, but I want to say what month was it?
Due to illness, nobody died. It was an illness, and it was scheduled for May. Could have been a kid.
Could have been a kid. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So as production was set to begin its first days of the shooting in Vegas, it already said that. Okay. He shared his prayers in the text message and wishes for speedy recovery. Production is left to manage the fallout and attempt to recoup costs from canceled shoot days. Her attorney is provided with
all the time.
Yeah, a nudity rider. I don't know if you know what a rider is, and I know this being a musician and working with bands and stuff. Your rider is like your list of must-haves as an artist. Okay, you knew that. All right, good. Okay.
I knew something. I knew it was a list of something. I didn't know it was must-haves. Okay.
Yeah. So I knew the girl that did the rider for Gwen Stefani, and I had met Gwen Stefani, and she was one who set me up to meet Gwen Stefani. But anyway, she did her rider, and she would and I don't remember what they all were, but it'd tell me everything she wanted in her dressing room, the brand of drinks, what kind of food, if she wanted a humidifier or, an air purifier. Right. I mean, you could ask for a giraffe and they would get you a giraffe. They would. Okay.
I want my room scented in rose.
Yeah, it must be. And some of these stars, you should have seen Frank Sinatra's rider. It was crazy. Frank Sinatra had a crazy rider. Oh, yeah. Like 2 cartons of Camel cigarettes. He wanted a grand piano in his room.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, wheeled in backstage into his dressing room. He had to have a piano. And then, like Twizzlers. It had to be the red ones. You know, it was a really cool like rider. It was interesting, but they're all they're all such prima donnas. They really are. But anyway, so there's a nudity rider, okay, in which includes intimacy coordinator approved nudity rider, followed by written confirmation of the approval. Notably, the sex scene scheduled for the week of May 8th had been rescheduled, okay, due to the illness. Lively and Baldoni on the 12th work at her apartment, making final script changes ahead of the first day of production. Baldoni shares an encouraging message with Lively before day one of shooting, and she expresses gratitude for her collaboration. So this so-called anger about this weight thing obviously wasn't bothering her that bad. In other words, I don't think it was even there. I personally don't think. I think she made this all up afterwards, fabricated it, and just added it to the list of things to be mad at him about.
I mean, what do you mean, like added? I mean, it does show that he did ask about her weight.
Yeah, and I think at the time that he asked for her weight, it never even dawned on her to be mad at him for it. I think she, look, what can I get on him? What can I get on him? She thought back, and she's like, oh, he asked about my weight. I'll say that I was offended, and I'll say that it was, totally rude.
She was offended because Ryan Reynolds yelled at him for it.
Ryan Reynolds yelled it, but that doesn't mean, that does not mean that she was.
And took it out of the
That doesn't mean she was. She might not have cared.
You're right. Maybe, but the fact is that it still was a situation that they argued about or had a that was addressed.
Okay, and on the
which
flip
I have something
side,
to say about that.
Well, also on the flip side, if you are correct that she was genuinely like hot-tempered about it, and he is yelling at him in his face at the doorway when he shows up, then like text messages like this note means so much to me. I'm so excited for tomorrow, but it's only one piece of the journey we started months ago, and I'm grateful for all we've built. I'm just gonna tell you right now, my theory is that she wanted to have an affair with him and he didn't. I think a lot of people think that.
I'll tell you my theory.
Okay.
After.
All right.
Yeah.
A No More representative who attended the table read the day before shares a message of encouragement with Baldoni. Okay. So encouragement. There's published photos of Lively in character wearing her hand-picked wardrobe. These images were widely criticized as unflattering and sparked a backlash from Sony. Now, that's not necessarily Baldoni. That could just be the media that is there,
right,
filming and seeing the outfit she's wearing. So yeah, they were unflattering. Here you go. Look, hello. What?
Yeah, they were a little weird.
Little dumpy looking, right? Little dumpy looking. And this is what she wanted.
That was her character, though.
That's what she perceived her character to look like. That doesn't necessarily mean. Obviously, the producer and other people on set did not agree with this outfit. They were like, "What?"
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah.
Okay, so all right, Baldoni approaches Lively in her trailer to discuss necessary wardrobe adjustments. So here she is being told that we don't like what you're doing. We don't like your script adjustments. We don't like that you're canceling on us and that you couldn't do sex scenes at the right time. She's holding off. Obviously, she did not lose all the weight, right, that she had planned to lose on her time frame, right? And now we have this issue with her wardrobe choices. Okay, so he goes to approach her to discuss necessary wardrobe adjustments, his desire to have more control of wardrobe decisions going forward. Before this meeting, Baldoni texts Heath saying he was terrified of saying the wrong thing and asked Heath to send him prayers. The meeting lasted 1.5 hours, as noted in the Daily Wrap. Her CRD complaint falsely characterized the exchange as a lengthy outburst that delayed filming and caused the crew to wait for hours while Baldoni cried in Lively's dressing room. Baldoni did briefly become emotional during the conversation, so he obviously admits that, but only in response to what he believed was a genuine compliment from Lively, praising his work as a director and actor. Baldoni later realized that this was the first of many manipulations by Lively, who in this moment was trying to convince Baldoni to continue her autonomy over her wardrobe. Autonomy is, you know what that is, right?
Yeah.
Ownership over her wardrobe. So here is the text message. It's right here. It proves that before he walked in there, seeing her in 10, send me prayers. I'm just saying I've been ignoring my gut and there's a few things we need to course correct on. I'm effing terrified of saying the wrong thing. Talk after. So Only somebody that is, falling a little off the deep end and is making unrealistic requests would make somebody act that way. And it's right here. It's dated. He was clearly starting to get scared of her. Later that day, on May 16th, Lively texts Baldoni to request another meeting with him and the other producers to discuss the wardrobe. After shooting wraps, Baldoni approaches Lively's makeup trailer. Heath knocks on the door and is invited in. Present in the room are Lively's nanny, makeup artist, and assistant, while Lively is having body makeup removed. She was not topless, as she claimed in her complaint. She was either nursing or pumping while fully covered. Lively asks Heath to face the wall while they determine a time to meet with the other producers, who are standing just outside the door. Weeks later, on June 1st, 2023, Lively accuses Heath of making eye contact with her while she had asked him to face the wall. While Heath does not remember doing so, he sincerely apologizes if he made momentary eye contact with Lively while conversing, acknowledging that it was possible he may have out of a habit. Lively stated that she didn't think he was trying to cop a look, and they moved on. Okay, so they both agree with that. That's good. Heath pleads with Lively to consider having the meeting the next morning to avoid her getting home too late and losing the shoot time the following day. The conversation in Lively's makeup trailer lasts only a couple of minutes, and they agree to meet with the rest of the producers in her personal trailer. 10 minutes later, they meet and discuss the wardrobe at length. Any suggestion that Heath stared at her inappropriately is not only blatantly false, but also difficult to believe, especially in such a setting, which I agree with because I'm a mother who has nursed. And if I had, when I was nursing, I would have friends over and proudly nurse in front of my friends. I did not care. But when you're working in a work setting and you've got people that are not family or even good friends, you know what I mean? They're just people coming into your trailer. There's no way her top was off. And if it was, that's because it was her doing, nobody else.
Well, she didn't say her top was off at that moment.
No, not at that moment. But she says that they saw her topless, that they were looking at her. But you wouldn't risk that in front of all these people that you work with that are just like, whatever, cameramen, makeup people.
I think she said that she was topless when he came in. And then 10 minutes later, when they all came in, I think she was fully covered.
I don't think so, because I think they knocked and she said, you can come in. I think she actually directed them inside the trailer. I read that somewhere, that she was like, sure, come on over. I'm only nursing. It's not a big deal.
No.
And
right. So it was a text message. So he wanted to talk. She said, well, I'm nursing. And he's like, I'll come over in 10 minutes. And she was like, okay. So she told him that she was nursing. Mm-hmm. But she also did imply that it was okay.
Yeah.
Right.
And when you imply it's okay, and then you let them come into your trailer, you can't all of a sudden turn around and say you were copping a look.
It wasn't them. It was just him. It was just him who came in. And then they left. And then she finished up nursing. And then they had their meeting.
All right, so who are you saying? She says
Lively
looked at her and was watching her breastfeed.
Baldoni.
But she asked him, she said it was okay for him to come over. Even though, and she even said in her text message back to him, I'm just nursing.
So she accused Heath of making eye contact with her.
Of making eye contact, but she invited him in and is breastfeeding right in front of him and then accuses Heath of making eye contact. But at another point, she says, Baldoni came right into my trailer while I was disrupted or whatever, but she invited him over. She invited him over.
Was that a different time or was that the same one?
I don't think so. I think it's the same one. I don't think it's a different time. I think it was the same time. She was just reaming out at everybody, like both of them, after the fact. And this came much later. This was not at the time. Yeah. She didn't complain at the time.
I know. This is in May. This is in May that this happened.
Her complaint incorrectly states that Lively intended to speak with the producers about unprofessional behavior on this day. As this timeline shows, the allegedly inappropriate behavior Lively describes in her complaint had not yet occurred, and the conversation concerned only wardrobe and production. So she even had her facts straight. She was moving moving around what was going on during that. Like, if they were talking about something in the trailer that day, she says that, oh, well, that was talked about on another day. And then this time it was about wardrobe, right? That's what I'm getting from that.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? I'm sorry. That might not have made sense. But she's even getting her own facts, mixed up from different times people had visited her in the trailer. That's what I get from it. All right, wait. I would like to have a conversation with Jamie today. All of us, Blake says. Yes, I'm telling them now something. Same thing, Justin says. She continues to share her open and unguarded thoughts on life and her character. She talked about her wardrobe choices to make her character much sexier. There is nothing sexy about the outfit that we saw before. She sends Baldoni the following text, notably using sexy both in person and over text to describe her character. Okay, so did you hear that? Did you get that? That she's using the word sexy, okay? Lively took no issue in using the word sexy herself and set the precedent for use of the word being acceptable by using it in previous text messages. Because that's going to come up later that he mentions it.
Right.
And then it shows it. We'll show you both ways, but beanie is much sexier. It's the look. Feels TV without it, especially with a crop top in the snow. It justifies the rest of the skin and also is a girl I would check out walking down the street because it washes the effort off the rest of the look. So they're just proving a point here that they're showing that she's okay with using the word sexy. Okay. Then March 22nd, Lively and Baldoni perform a scripted kissing scene in which their characters get engaged at the hospital. In the sequence, Lively pulls Baldoni in to kiss her. It is clear Lively was initiating the kiss, and in one take, she pulls Baldoni in and kisses him once. In another, twice. Lively determined the number of kisses based on what she felt was necessary for the scene. Though Lively improvised the number of kisses in the scene, make no mistake, the kiss itself was written into the script and was in no way improvised. Contrary to Lively's CRD complaint, there was no inappropriate improvised kissing on set. Any improvisation was made by Lively herself. Note, no intimacy coordinator was present on set for this day, as is standard when two professional actors with over 3 decades of combined working experience perform a sex scene in which only kissing is involved and no other intimacy, nudity, or simulated sex is required. Furthermore, during preparations, Lively and her attorneys did not indicate in her nudity rider that she wanted an intimacy coordinator present for scenes involving only kissing. Okay?
Okay.
Instead, in line with industry practice, focus solely on bringing one on for simulated sex and nudity scenes. Okay, so because later on she complains that she didn't have anybody there, but for just kissing, there not normally is any. Okay.
Right.
Shoot day 6. She prepares to shoot the hospital scene in which her character Lily gives birth. She alleges that during a birthing scene, she was mostly nude with her legs spread wide in stirrups and only a small piece of fabric covering her genitalia, and that there were non-essential persons present. This allegation is knowingly false. To begin with, to describe Lively as mostly nude and naked from below the chest down is inaccurate. Lively was wearing black briefs and a pregnancy suit that covered her midsection, and her top was covered by a hospital gown. Okay?
Right.
Additionally...
But he wanted her to go nude.
Did he? I didn't hear that. How do you know he wanted her to go nude?
There was like a talk that he initially wanted her to be nude during the scene, obviously covered up, but basically nude. Mm-hmm. And when they were discussing births and whatnot, he actually showed her a video of his wife's birth.
Which is totally okay. There's nothing wrong with that. It's another woman giving birth. I mean, so what? Do you think that's bad and offensive? Because she does say
that's right. She says it was like she was kind of like shocked, like and put off when he was just like, "Here, watch my wife. This is her giving birth."
Yeah.
I wasn't there for the conversation, so it all depends on how you take it in the conversation.
She was offended by the video, correct?
Yeah, that's how her take was.
She states that the set was crowded, chaotic, and utterly lacking in standard industry protections for filming nude scenes. For one, Lively was not nude, nor did the set diverge from industry standards. Further, closed set protocols were followed every day on the set. And make a note, Lively alleges that Steve Sarowitz, I don't know who that is. Who is that? was present for the filming of the birthing scene, and this is entirely false. Mr. Sarowitz arrived later in the day after the birthing scene had already been shot. So he's alleging that she's lying and adding to her story. May 23rd, on shoot day 6, Baldoni praises Lively in turn. Here are the text messages to show it. I'm not going to tell you that you were amazing because you teased me for being so sentimental, but you were amazing today. And she said, thank you. I do appreciate it. I'm just a ball buster, but it means a lot to me. I care a great deal and always want to deliver. You were terrific. I'm proud of everything we did today, but really every day. And he loved that and hit a thank you on the end. On the 7th, during a scene in which the cast is wearing loose-fitting onesies, attempts to give Lively directorial feedback regarding her wardrobe and encourages her to remove her coat to reveal her onesie to match the rest of the cast, who were also dressed in onesies. In Lively's complaint, she alleges that Baldoni used the word sexy. And that's why they mentioned sexy before. Now, She's saying he used the word sexy in a tone that made her feel ogled and exposed. However, Baldoni, as the director, noted that the look would be sexy. That's the look of the character. It's not Blake. And I don't think he actually was attracted to her or thought she was sexy at all. I don't think he liked her, and that's part of why she's mad right now. Right?
Okay.
So anyway, that's that. I don't need to go into any more about that one. What's the toothpick thing? His statements were immediately followed by a gesture indicating that Lively had something in her teeth and a request for someone on set to get her a toothpick. So I think anything he says at this point, she's just racking it up. You know what I mean?
But what did she say about that?
To this exchange, all of which was captured on camera, was bookended by Baldoni's immediate recognition that Lively appeared offended. Baldoni offered multiple apologies to Lively moments later, despite the fact that he was merely just doing his job. If you had something stuck in your teeth and you were about to be on camera for the whole world to see, wouldn't you want somebody to help you out and say, hey, go get a toothpick? I can see that piece of broccoli in your teeth.
Right.
Right? All right. Later that day on the 23rd.
I might have said it on the down low. I don't know if he said it out loud to everybody to hear. Maybe she did.
No, maybe not. Okay. Later that day, during this action sequence, Lively and Baldoni's character would kiss, which is all caught on camera. Her complaint later accused Baldoni of discreetly biting and sucking on Miss Lively's lower lip during a scene in which he improvised numerous kisses on each take. As shown in the below script pages, the kissing was not improvised. Okay. The two thumbs into Lily's apartment, ripping at one another's onesies until they are both down to their underwear, while kissing his way down Lily's torso, close on Lily as she arches her back in pure ecstasy. It's written in there, and honestly, all that, just the word ecstasy and what they're attempting to do in that scene, it would not surprise me for an actor to bite on your bottom lip. I mean, really, right? It's all part of right, but it's part of the job. I mean, I think she's nitpicking at this point because she's looking for as much as she can get on him. I mean, really, you signed on for this movie. You knew exactly what you needed to do in this movie. It has intimate scenes in it. It involves sex.
But obviously everything is written out to the T, so that nobody's offended or shocked.
I don't know. We have actors in our family, and though they're too young for that kind of thing. In acting, there has to be a lot of improvisation especially in these intimate scenes, because you need to make it look natural and you need to kind of go with what feels right? What you would do if you were really in that situation. So I don't blame him for doing any of that. And you know what? Don't take on a role like this if you don't like it, right?
Well, I think that they do their best to outline exactly what's expected in that scene, and maybe she was just coughed off guard that he bit her lip. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like, and he used his tongue on my outer lip, like he bit her lip. So maybe she was shocked. I don't know.
So what? It's part of the job. Deal with it, sister.
Well, I mean, it's just another thing to complain. It's just another thing it's just a bunch of pebbles before the rock. That's how she feels.
Yeah. Pebbles that she's trying to pile up one on another because she's trying to sue the guy and ruin his life simply because she was offended a couple times. He never did anything terrible to her ever. He was only nice to her. And you can see that in all the text messages. I mean, she's clearly a narcissist, clearly full of herself. And, didn't like the fact that she was not getting any ability to rewrite the script or have any ownership in the script. And didn't like that he shut her down about her two dragons, and didn't like that, and what I believe to be, and then you can go ahead now and give your theory after this, but I think that she was very attracted to him. And I think some of those scenes that she had with him were feeling very real for her. This is my theory. And that she was very kind of hoping that he would like her back. And I think that maybe even there was maybe a little something that happened. And then she had to explain it away or shut him down and pretend he was sexually harassing her to protect her relationship with Ryan Reynolds.
Right.
That's what I think.
Well, ours is somewhat similar. So I heard on, this is not really my theory. This is somebody else's theory that they said was, and I thought it was pretty interesting because I see some validity to it. So supposedly Ryan Reynolds is considered like a very protective husband and a very jealous guy, right?
Yep.
So I think Ryan probably like confronted his wife and said, he probably saw her phone, probably read some text messages. They were kind of intimate. Some of the, that are very friendly. And I think that he questioned her, and I think she just kind of got a little like, and I think she does have slight feelings for him. And so then she just pulled the whole, well, he makes me feel uncomfortable. You know what I mean? Kind of just and I think it's really Ryan that's running wild with it.
I agree with you. That,
Yeah.
see, we agree on something. I do.
Yeah.
I think that it's either you admit, oh, what you're seeing, Ryan, is correct, that I'm attracted to him, or you shut it down and run from it and make up stories so that you're not caught, you're not found out about. And I think that she was afraid that he would know the truth. So in order for him not to know the truth, she basically tried to ruin him. And
Well, I don't think she tried to ruin him. I don't think she tried to ruin him. I think she was just trying to come up with an excuse that seemed plausible. But I think it was really Ryan that started getting everything in motion.
Yes.
Because it was Ryan who was making all those scene changes up on the balcony, not balcony, the rooftop. And I think he was butthurt that they didn't take a lot of his changes. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I think it's a little bit of everything.